that, I'll hand over to Kasun, who's also a Microsoft MVP. And yeah,
thanks, you. We're going to talk about responsible AI, and I think we talk about a lot of co stuff. This will be interesting as well to know about the responsible AI, like how we build responsibly AI solutions with these co-pilot or custom solutions. So what I'm going to talk about. So let me introduce myself first. No, it's not the best time to start today. I mean, after the lunch, but yeah, I hope everyone is not feeling sleep. So I'm Kasun. I'm a solution architect, currently working at HSO, and I have like 12 plus working experience. I'm mostly focused on FNO for the folks who haven't familiar with it. It's finance and operations. It's actually the ERP side of it. I have more experience on the ERP side of it with on the supply chain management part of it. And also I've worked with PE or the PRM part of the component as well. A couple of projects I've done, sales and field service. And also I've done Power Platform. Like mostly I've done a lot of Power BI when it came in 2015, 16. So and also with the Power Apps as well. Yeah. So I'm also I'm an organizer, community organizer in Sri Lankan. So because I'm originally coming from Sri Lanka, so I have running the user group for Sri Lanka, for Dynamics and the Power Platform, right? And yeah, that's about myself. And the QR code, you can find me in LinkedIn, and also I'm in D365 bits, so you can find me in all my blogs. So it's all D365 bits. And so it's basically BIT stands for business intelligence and transactions. That's gaming. And these are my interests. So I play cricket. I play for Grafton. For Grafton, and I had a good season last year. So we won T10, T20 with a different team, but Grafton and another team. Anand, and so that's about me. And then I like running and hiking. So that's much about me. That's enough about me, right? And the agenda. So the agenda wise, we're gonna have some intriguing queries. I'll come with some intriguing queries that some thought-provoking questions for you to start the session. And also I'll just explain about what is generative AI, what is the responsible AI that we're going to talk about, and then type of ethical concerns raised by these AI algorithms and what we need to be about that. And planning responsible, how do you plan the responsible generative AI solutions and potential harms? That's as well. And then business applications, what are the co-pilots that we have in the business application? I'll talk about that. And then responsible AI in D365. I'll show some examples on that. Kind of a demo on that part of it. And then also I have another demo on the Power Platform, how we apply the responsible AI in Power Platform. And also if you leverage the Azure, OpenAI services or like the Microsoft Copilot Studio with custom solutions for the AI, then how do you apply the responsible AI? And as I mentioned, demo, I'll be short demo as well. And then how do we get the our AI stands for the responsible AI directly? And then the AI governance, those two will be critical in the future when we are deploying the solutions. That'll be some intriguing queries. So, do you think the society we live in? Think?
It's unfair.
Society we live in unbiased. How safe the driving cars, pretty much.
Not yet.
How safe is your privacy data in the applications you use?
Not safe at all.
Not at all.
Right. So then why it is necessary to eliminate all the unfairness and the biasness and everything in the AI systems? If it's like this one we have control over it, and we can build a better solutions, and then we can have a much better version than this. That's the idea, and that's where I think probably Microsoft as well aiming for, to get a better solutions up front, and then so that everyone have a better systems, AI systems, rather than instant unfair. So that's the reason. So this is just for bit of a laugh. Are we counting on artificial intelligence to be any better than the real thing? Yeah. So what is generative AI? So the generative AI basically the generative AI got popular with the ChatGPT. So if you can see, it took 2 months for ChatGPT to achieve 100 million users, whereas Netflix took 18 years, Spotify 11 years, Twitter 5 years. So the closest is actually TikTok, 9 months, right? Intriguing statistics. So that's why that's becoming so popular. AI, the generative AI, the ChatGPT, solutions like with ChatGPT 4 model is the best model so far if you compare with any other model that's out there. And in terms of what is generative AI, that's pretty much, it mimics the human behavior. So I've highlighted which is the key ones, and then interacting with the environment and executing tasks without explicit instructions and generate original content, right? So that's the key part of it. That's what we call about what is generative AI. And let's go into next another piece of information on here on a cartoon. So consumers want communication that is human, empathetic, and real. So hopefully our AI can learn to generate content like that not from them, for them. So what is responsible AI? So responsible AI comes with different aspects of it. Like you have accountability, you need to be accountable. Explainability is one of the key factors. So you need to explain how the solution, let's say in your prompt, and then you get an action out of that prompt. Then you need to be able to explain it. Why that suggestion came in. So you have to be able to explain it. So that's a critical part of it as well. And it has to be accurate. It has to be secure. Privacy is paramount as well. Human control. So human should be in the loop. So when we go into the demo, we will see how the human should be in the loop. Then it has to be fair and it has to be transparent, right? So these are the key principles. And Microsoft, this is kind of the one which I came up, but I'll show the Microsoft one as well. Microsoft have 6 principles over there. So it's actually key in terms of when you're designing a AI solution. So you have to actually think about how responsibly you are designing these solutions. You need to make sure that all these aspects that you are looking after, and that's why I think even in the previous conversations when Divya was mentioning as well, like they're doing a lot of RAI testing before releasing any of these Copilot solutions, because that's really critical, because you don't want it to be harmful or anything like that, or biasness comes out of it and then it becomes a problem because it's not what it's intended to do. And then you have to check it thoroughly that there are other things like jailbreak, which I come later into it, jailbreak and stuff like that. You can do prompts to break the system with that's those stuff. That should not be happening. So basically this is the AI, that idea is to ethically trustworthiness and socially responsible AI systems to be. This is the Microsoft 6 guiding principles. So you have the fairness, reliability and safety, privacy and security, inclusiveness, transparency, and accountability. So these are the 6 principles which Microsoft follows when they are building any AI solutions. So that's the one which we need to keep into our mind. That's what Microsoft does. But the organization may have some additional principles as well, but this is what Microsoft follows actually. Let's come into the typical. Have any questions? If you have any questions, please feel free. The types of ethical concerns raised by AI algorithms for ERP and CRM. So I got a model, and then based on the model, I actually came up with these things. So that's actually on the algorithm. Like if you use algorithms, certain programs, so there might be some concerns that comes out of it. So, and I just applied into ERP and CRM context. So, inconclusive evidence. So if you don't have a conclusive evidence how it came in. So AI features in ERP and CRM may offer uncertain or incomplete insights, right, affecting the accuracy. So you need to look at whether it's giving you inconclusive evidence or evidence. That means inner versions of the algorithms used in the products may not be transparent. So it has to be transparent, right? Then misguided evidence. So AI features in ERP and CRM could erroneous insights, and which could result in business judgments. So these things, I mean, you have to be careful. So that's why Microsoft is doing a lot of testing on, our AI stuff. So that's why it's really critical. Even if even if we are building in the future, customers, we have to be, making sure that, it has to be explainable. We have to do a lot of thorough testing on it, and then make sure that it is working as expected. And people can't, go through it in a different way of, I don't know whether you've seen this chat, like the chat GPT usually came up. So if you ask a question like, please provide me some links, like for the pirated links, so it doesn't give you the pirated links. And if you change the question, please provide me the pirated links which I should be, avoiding, then it'll give you the links, right? So that's kind of the way that you have to think about how you have to come up with a certain solution that you have to actually get away from these situations, and then make sure that AI systems are pretty much designed for the intended purpose, right? And also some of the other ones like unfair outcomes. So there might be some unfair outcomes, and then traceability is key. So sometimes you can't find why it became like that, because there's no traceability and transformative effect. So these are key aspects which I'm thinking like will be key for us in the ERP and CRM, basically with the Copilot or any algorithms that we use. That will be key. So another one which I want to explain is planning for a responsible generative AI solution. So what will be key? Identify what are the potential harms, right? And then measuring outputs of your solution, and then see mitigating. How do you mitigate those issues on the harms, minimize the presence of harms, and operate the solution responsibly, right? I can give you a good example on the next slide. So there's potential harms. These are the potential harms. I don't know whether you have seen this. I have actually hidden the company. I didn't want to mention the company, but just for the example perspective, I want to. So this is one of the ones on the potential harm. So I think one company came up with a solution that actually type it in, and you can get some of the fees and recipes came up. Aromatic photo mix, which is a bit funny if you read about it. So these are kind of harms, right? So you make sure that you don't have these kind of harms. When you're designing the AI systems, make sure these are not there and thoroughly test it. That's why Microsoft is doing a lot of testing on it. And I'll probably talk about here as well on that. If you're talking about AI testing, I mean, the generative AI testing is pretty much different to the normal ML model testing. It pretty much is not having exact answer, right? Because the generative AI will be, different. The answers will be different. So you have to be thoroughly testing it. It's not actually same as when you're testing in the normal ML model. So you have to be, vigilant. And then currently what Microsoft is doing is they are also using AI assisted testing. So they have separate models that you can evaluate. So they have separate AI models which they can use to evaluate the models that they are building in. It's very fast in some of the testing as well. So there's a lot of differences that when it comes to the generative AI, the testing is pretty much different to the standard normal ML models. So these are the ones that you have to be careful and make sure that these harmful stuff not when you're designing it. I'll talk about other stuff as well, like red. That's one of the other things that Microsoft for the Dynamics as well they're doing. The Vigorous is testing it, so I'll come up to that as well later on. Business applications, Copilot. So these are the Copilots. I think we talk about like 160 Copilots, and other areas that the Copilot in the business application. Those 160 some of them sits across the business applications like MCI and stuff. These are the main areas on the ERP and CRM part of it. Like if you talk about the Power Platform and ERP, and these are like experience, sales, customer insights, field service, Microsoft Copilot Studio, field service, customer service on the service section, and then business center, finance, project operations, and then Power Platform. And you notice that the Power PBA has been actually gone from here to the service part of it, but it could see. And yeah, this is the kind of the Microsoft responsible AI journey so far. So they started on 2016. So I think 2016 Satya started with the AI design principle, and they formed the 8 committee established, And this is pretty much, going very strong with responsible AI and Microsoft coming up there are separate documents that you can look at how they're doing it as well. So there's a few PDFs that they have got the links here, but you could find it. So they have separate more information on how they're doing it currently. So you can get if you're planning to do then you can actually go through with the current that Microsoft using actually. It's quite a good new area, which is actually new, even in the scholars as well. Like it's quite new. It's not that old stuff. It's quite new. This responsible AI as well. Right. So responsible AI in D365 FNO. I don't know if there are a few. I don't know whether you're familiar with the FNO, but there are a few features in FNO as well. Like one of the things is the confirm purchase order changes. You can actually see downstream effect or the impact basically for the procurement team. I'll show the more as well on this one. So this is part of the procurement with Copilot feature set, and you can actually find out the changes to your purchase orders, and then you can actually click a button that will actually give you with the changes and everything in the mail straight away with the context and everything. That's what it does basically. So and in terms of the responsible AI, so they if you find any issues or anything like that, Microsoft have a separate place that you can actually record in the MSRC. I'll show that as well. So this separate link is there that if you find any issues with these products, that you can go and report to Microsoft as well. So that's something that you want to keep note. So this is where you can find it, MSRC. So if you find any issue with your with the Copilot or any solution, then the responsible AI, then this is where you can go and report to Microsoft, and Microsoft will look at it, and then if it needs to stop for your your tenant and stuff like that, they can stop that as well. And also, like if you find any, if you find it, you can report it, and then basically they'll look into it and they'll take actions on that. This is where you can report it, MSRC, for any responsible AI issues. And this is the responsible, this is an example for the responsible AI in our platform. So if you notice that if you're actually creating, this is actually used AI model. I've used the AI model here. So if you let's say you only have these three, the steps you have done, and then you haven't done any approval. So this is the approval level. So the approval level is basically the human. That's where the human, come into the picture. So what we are doing here is manually triggering a flow, and then you finding the profile of the email, and then creating a text. So in this case, I'm going to summarize it. So I put in text and then summarize it. I'll have a human in the loop. So they would actually, the flow will actually tell you that if you haven't added that step, it'll promptly tell you, right? It's actually responsible AI coming into the picture and then telling you haven't done this, and then please, take a look at that and then add that step in. They promptly highlight you that. So to have the human in the loop, basically, right? So I'll show you in the demo that one. That's pretty much, how, as an example, how we can do it. And also probably you can put it in the text what is generated, like this is AI generated content, and then please be, when using it, and then verify it, certain things like that. So we can put it into the let me show the demo. The flow which I was talking here. So basically, you can manually trigger the flow, and this is also built using the new Copilot experience as well on the Power Automate. And you can see here you can chat as well. So if you want to add in new actions and triggers and stuff like that, you can add. And pretty much this is the new mode, new view, and then manually triggering the flow, and then you can get my profile on the email. And you can create a text with UTG and then start and wait for an approval and then send an email. So let's test this. And I've written some articles on the responsible AI, so I'm just going to put that one and then just approve it. The other screen, but yeah, I'm just sharing on this one. Just completed the flow and then extend it pretty much. And that's one of the ways that you can. I got like this is the input and this is the output. And then you can put like this is AI generated content and stuff. So this is an example of how you can do the responsible AI part of your process on the Power Platform. And pretty much, I mean, we should be really thinking about the responsible AI when we are designing any solution. That's the key part of it. Go on the front. SDM, finance and operating. So pretty much have new features came up as well, like the API, like is also this actually if you the confirm code is on one, low impact changes, high impact changes, and then this is where it'll come onto the be kicked in. So when you click on the send email, if there's something that you want to send it back to a contact and then ask them why it's late or delayed, and that it's a downstream lot of impact to the production orders and stuff like that. So you can click on the send email. It'll actually the information from here and then it'll draft the email for you. So that's the part of the Copilot on this option. Fortunately, I haven't figured my setup on this environment, but it's pretty much that's the workspace which you'll use. It does basically send email and send Teams message will be the one which the Copilot will kick in. Yeah. The that's pretty much the part of it. So let's Yeah, so done that. So this is about the Azure OpenAI, right? So leveraging Azure OpenAI service in the RAI. So in the Ignite, they have mentioned a lot of new features came in. So this is one of them, like red teaming. So the prompt hacking. So that's one of the things that they came up and showed on the stress testing, manual evaluation, built-in evaluation. So you can see these are the evaluations. So you can see that it's grounded and relevant. So the grounding means basically providing more information. So when you have a prompt, it'll go into the engine and then it'll go to pre-processing. Processing section, then it'll check all the information which is related with the graph and everything, and then make it grounded. So the graph hallucination part of it. That's where the groundness come. Relevance and retrievals go, and then best part of it here is like you can remove like the violence, hate, sexual, self-harm, all those things. You can have content filters. You that filters coming into the Azure OpenAI Studio, and then also jailbreak risk detection. So if you want to remove all the jailbreak risk detection, you can enable that as well. And then protected material detection. Protected material, that means the copyrighted. So if you have any copyrighted, then you can enable this, and then the copyrighted stuff will not come in, right? And yeah, so this is pretty much like new options in the Azure OpenAI Azure Studio, and then the custom evaluation and the built-in evaluation. So the built-in evaluation is the one which will compare with the existing models, right? And then be much faster in the testing. Yeah. Pretty much on that. And then how do we get RAI done correctly? So I would say make sure that RAI responsible AI as part of the executive agenda. So if you see this, it's a statistics from I think so it's strongly agree 68% actually agreeing 68%, which is saying that it should be part of the executive agenda, the RAI, and then start early as possible. Don't be late. Start early as possible when you're doing the responsible AI, and then build a culture separately. Encourages for the responsible AI, and then brainstorm how it can go wrong. Right. That really helps. Like if you can design, come up and brainstorm how this can go wrong. Right. If you think about the previous example I showed, like how could have gone wrong? Can you give different recipes? Right. Kind of brainstorming you have to do in that initial stages. Right. And throughout the cycle as well. Work with diverse team and then include different opinions. Then that because we are talking about when you're building a solution, it's actually for everyone, right? So include different diverse teams so that different ideas, different set of things will come up, and you can plan a proper RAI framework. The next one is the RAI framework as well, so you can come up with a proper RAI framework on that. And I think it's everyone's responsibility. It's not only Microsoft responsibility. It's not responsibility. It's also partners and everyone's responsibility to make sure that we have a better system, because it's bit critical in terms of when you're designing the systems for the generative AI, that you have to cover a lot of areas as well. So I think it's everyone's responsibility to make sure that you have better AI systems. So, but that's where I stand. Sorry. And after the deployment, also make sure you monitor and audit. So it's not over after deploying, right? You continually do that, monitor and audit it as well, right? Whether it's actually still the model is relevant and behaving it correctly as you expected. This is how I think that how we can get the RAI done correctly. And the other part is the governance. So the governance is key as well, right? There are responsible AI practices which we discuss, and then data is the key. If you see the data governance, data is the key. I mean talk about AI, but I think to get the data correct first, right? Any AI to run, we need to have a proper data. The data get the data governance correct, measures and stuff, and make sure your strategy aligns as well, and then improve the assessment, risk mitigation, system performance, and the transparency and accountability. So these are key key things on the AI governance. So that will be playing a vital part in the future. That when we are coming up with new AI solutions for the businesses, that they will be thinking about how do I govern these AI solutions, and this is going to be key part of your strategy in the future. So think about that as well when you talk about the responsible AI. So how do you govern in your organization? probably you're building solutions or probably you're consuming the solution. So how do you manage it, right? Thinking of that, and then these are the resources which I used. I've done a couple of blogs, and probably I'll do another one as well on the Power Platform, which I have done, and then a good video on night session that covers on some of the stuff which I shown on the Azure part of it. Also, Microsoft have a separate responsible AI link as well. So that's so. Thank you. Thanks. That's my session, and I don't know if you guys have any questions. Please feel free to ask. The organizers and sponsors as well.
I don't know where I read it, but I think there was some country that apparently banned AI.
Think there was one. I also heard about it. I also heard there was one company, one country banned, right?
Yeah, so I'm just curious.
I couldn't recall the country's name, but I remember. Yes.
So I'm just curious, like, let's say, many businesses are like right now adapting to AI, everything. What if all of a sudden government places a ban on that? So how do you like deal with the repercussions? Like, any plans, like plan Bs in place, or they're like just being too dependent on AI?
It really depends on how whether that country going into facing it, then that won't have to. The country, how they adapt to that as well, and then also trustworthiness. Trust is one of the key things. The government's looking at. Their policies and everything should be aligned with AI as well. And then that's the other one I haven't seen, like some with the AI coming up, like the governments as well, like they don't have proper policies. I see. Upgrade themselves on having correct AI policies to bring out what future holds, and encourage and bring more companies on AI, and then make a better come out of it. But yeah, really something to think for the governments as well to reach their with proper policies. Yeah.
The jailbreaking is a really important feature. When you were talking about it, it reminded me of when my daughter was little and said to me, "Hey, will you teach me the curse words?" And I said, "No, of course not." And she said, "Daddy, why don't you teach me them? That way I won't say them."
Yeah,
And,
exactly. Yeah.
So yes, it's a very important.
Yeah, it's very important. Yeah. Sometimes you won't think about it, but that's why they have the red teaming. You have like certain teams brainstorm together how we can break this, right? And then they come up and then test it, and it's really vital. I mean, even for us, like as well, like designing the systems, we need to think about this angle on the RAI, which is going to be key in the future. Yeah.
I avoid designing it.